Hi, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Jessica, and if you've been following this series on dual citizenship, thank you for being here. In my last video, I talked about the benefits of having it, but in this one, I want to go a little deeper to really explain what it means to hold dual citizenship, and I also want to share 10 key responsibilities that come with it. So if you've never thought of it this way, I'm here to share what I've learned. Because being a dual citizen of the United States and of Guatemala, being a citizen of any country means showing up with respect, with awareness, and with intention. So it's really about joining forces with another country and saying, I'm part of you now too. So today, again, I want to talk about 10 real responsibilities that come with holding two nations. And it's not to scare you or to put any pressure, but it's to ground you and again, to share and pass on knowledge. So let's get into it. So number one, learn the language. This is my book that I have in my apartment, and I'm learning the language bit by bit. And so when I say learn the language, I'm not saying you have to master it overnight. But I know like a lot of people who give up too soon because it feels hard or, they develop a negative attitude towards learning a new language. But what I'm saying is start small, learn the greetings, learn how to say thank you, learn how to order food, ask for directions, effort is everything. So learning the language is how you, honor people. It's how you communicate. It's how you make life easier for yourself and for your family. Okay. Number two, understand the history. So what I mean by that is knowing the history behind your people, it changes everything. So understand why your ancestors migrated, why they fought or why they rebuilt. Knowing both sides of your lineage, it grounds you. It makes you respect the land differently. You walk differently when you know what your people survived. History, it also gives you a sense of humility. It reminds you that you didn't just arrive out of nowhere. You came from resilience. It makes you want to honor the land even more. And this was my personal experience. Like once I did my homework about how my ancestors lived and how they survived, I really gained a deep respect for the land. And now I want to learn more. I'm more curious, and it makes me respect their lives, their history even more. Number three, contribute. Don't just consume. I think we live in a world where consumerism runs everything. And, sometimes we get caught up in buying things, collecting things, showing off. But being a dual citizen means giving back as well. So, what I mean by that is buy from local vendors, hire locally, support community projects, teach something that use your gifts to, uplift the community. And it doesn't have to be big. It can be small, consistent acts, build relationships with the people who are on the ground every day trying to make an honest dollar. So that's how you show love to your second home. Number four, respect local laws and customs. Yes, you're a citizen, but you have to move with respect. Learn how the systems work, follow the procedures, move again with honor, not entitlement. And so when something feels wrong, when you see injustice, that's another story. You speak up about it, but you do it respectfully when you need to advocate. Being an advocate without being arrogant. There's a way, and, with standing on your ground. So know the law, understand it, and work around it with integrity. Number five, stay connected to the community. So don't let your citizenship collect dust. Like, it makes no sense to claim a country that you haven't visited in 10 or 15 years. Like, I get it. I understand, like, life happens, money goes tight, things come up. But connection doesn't always mean travel. You can call, you can check in, join virtual meetings, show up to cultural events near you. Stay connected. Staying connected means staying present. You know what I mean? Like, that's what keeps the relationship alive. Number six, represent with integrity. So when you say that you're from both countries, you got to remember that you represent both. Your energy, your attitude, the way you speak, it reflects both nations. So carry yourself with pride and grace. And it makes no sense to claim a nation publicly and dishonor it privately. So move in a way that people can say that's what being there looks like. You know what I mean? So number seven is preserve and share cultural knowledge. So learn the songs, learn about the foods, learn the dances, the rituals, and then share them. Teach them to your children, pass them down, teach them to your friends, your community. I'm Garifuna, and for me, that comes first. I'm still in the process of reclaiming my roots, about learning who we are, how we live, what our practices mean. But I've also learned flexibility, right? So just because my people were marginalized, it doesn't mean that I close myself off from, others in Guatemala. So when I enter into new spaces or new regions in Guatemala, for example, I bring my Garifuna identity with pride and an open heart. I show who we are, and I also stay open to learning, because at the end of the day, we can find our customs, and we can notice and we can see that our customs sometimes are similar to other Guatemalan customs, and that's okay. Number 8, invest in local development. So if you can invest, if you can, even a little, it doesn't have to be huge. It could be $5 or $10 a month to help a youth center, a school, a local artist, or a friend's small project. Being a dual citizen means being intentional about where your energy and your money goes. So we always talk about legacy. Legacy doesn't start with millions of dollars. Like, it starts with consistency and care, and it starts small. Number 9, stay informed politically and socially. Now this one is can be a bit tricky for a lot of people. I'm not a political buff, but I've learned that being informed is part of the responsibility. Like, you don't need to know every detail. You don't need to be versed in political knowledge. Just understand how things work. And knowing, know what's happening in the country. Know who's leading, what policies are affecting your people when voting happens. And you can't change what you don't understand. Even if your part is small, awareness is everything. And lastly, number 10, heal the disconnect. And so what I mean is, and this one might be the most important. Many of us are holding dual citizenship, or we're thinking about getting dual citizenship, and we have it, some of us, because of exile, because of migration, because of colonization. And that means that there's pain and separation in our bloodlines, right? So healing the disconnect means asking, where are the gaps? How can I bridge the gap? What can I do? How can I help my people reconnect to the parts of our story that were cut off? So use your dual citizenship to repair what history tried to divide, between nations, between families, between identities. And at the end of the day, dual citizenship is a covenant. It's a promise between you, between your ancestors, between the land. So if you're blessed to hold 2 nations in your hands, I say honor them both, and really understand what honoring them both means. So learn about your nations, remember, and you know what I mean? Hold that responsibility with love. Thank you so much for listening. Sereme.